Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at functions, part 1. So part 1 means to say that we are doing the functions for the drawing part only. Okay, for now. Okay, when it goes to part 2, we're going to look at the ways of determining the equation of the function, and that thing is dealing in chapter later on in the textbook. I'm not going to go check now, but that would be in label part 2. Okay. In your exam, your upcoming cycle test, it will cover the first part of functions. Okay. So when we're done with this chapter, that is where your cycle test will be printed. Okay. Chapter 7. So functions part 1. So the relationship between two variables. Now you have dealt with functions before. You remember that spider you drew in grade 8? And the tables that you've done and the number pattern. They are all, there's a relationship that is existing between those things. Okay? But we have made notes already, but we will highlight it later on as well. The relationship between two variables, x and a y, or any other letter can be expressed in several ways, in many ways. Using mapping diagrams, listing a set of ordered pairs, using a table. Okay. So I'm looking at the first example. The first example is on page 130? No. Sample page 139. Okay. So here we are told express the relationship between the variables in A using the mapping, using a mapping diagram. So here we can have the input, okay, and then we will have of course the output. Okay, so what we do is we have sets. So our first one is -2, -1, 0. It's coming from these values here. 1 and 2. Can you see that? It maps onto 4, 1, 0, 1 and 4. You see that? So that is mapping. 0 with 0, 1 with 1, 2 with 3. That's your mapping. You will understand. No, I made a mistake. There is repeated values here. Sorry about that. I didn't take into account the values are repeated. Okay, so let's go again. So your input values is -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. Your output values, I didn't realize it's different. Okay, so I had to actually check, it was my mistake. So 4, 1 and 0. 1 is accounted for and 4 is accounted for. Okay. So -2 maps onto 4 as well as 2. You all agree with that? -1 maps onto 1 and so does 1. And then 0 is to 0. There's your mapping. Okay. Sorry again, once again for the previous mistake. Let's look at B. Listing a set of ordered pairs. Now ordered pairs you've dealt with before when we drew straight line graphs last year. Not so. Okay. So for your ordered pair is basically as it's given here. These are ordered pairs. Can you see that before? So this would simply be, your answer would simply be, this is listing, it's -2 and 4, -1 and 1, 0 and 0, okay, 1 and 1, and 2 and 2. Okay. You all okay with that? Numbers in C, they ask you to using a table of values. So you have our table your input, output. Your input is normally x and then your y. So negative 2 corresponds with 4 as your y. X is negative 1 corresponds with 1. 0 and 0. 1 and 1. 2 and 4. Okay. Do you all understand? Sorry? Sorry? The second number. This one here. So you ask with regards to B. You see, these are ordered pairs. These are, another word for ordered pairs is what? Co-ordinates. Oh, yes, yes. Ordered pair and coordinates is the same thing. Okay, do you understand now? Alright. So, if the B asks, let's set of ordered pairs, that is the same. Okay, did I need to put a squiggly bracket here? No, but that is just to list. That's why I put it here. People say, any confusion thus far? No. Let's carry on with our lives. So now we're on the we're reading at the bottom of page 139. So here we are told functions, and you guys have written this down already, right? A function is a special relationship between the input values and the output values, where every input value has only one output value. It has to only have one output. For every input value, there's only one output value. Note that the different input values can have the same output value. Like if you look at, in this case here, this is definitely a function. Why? Because for every input value, there is an output value. Can you see that? Right. And you'll learn later that is a one-to-many function and all of those things. Okay. Now we look at domain and range. Domain and range. This is, we're reading from page 140 now. Page 140. So domain. So we say domain, the set of all the input values of the function is called the domain of the function. So if you're going with that in mind, then what does that mean? That means to say that your input value is also your domain. Domain, yes. So we talk about domain, whenever we're talking about domain in a function, it is referring to the input, or it's referring to the x values. Okay. Whereas the range in all possible y values. Not so. Or it's also your output values. Your output values. You guys understand? So here, your input is also your domain. Your output is also your range. Okay. And of course your ordered pairs as well. But all the x's is your domain, whilst all the y's is your range. Okay. Ranges. The range, the set of all output values of a function, is called the range. Right. Let's carry on to the lives. In this example is also on page 140. We are told, list the domain and the range of the function. List the domain and the range of the function. So let's look at the domain. Domain is all possible? X value. So what's my x value here? Negative 2. Here? Negative 1. 0. 1. 2. Not so. Let's look at the range. Range is all possible? Y value. So it is 4. Okay, relax. It's going to be 4. We have load shedding now, so it will be 4. Okay, just hang on. 4, 1, and 0. And as you can see, we have accounted for 1 already, and we have accounted for 4 already. Not so? So, the range of the function is simply 0, 1, and 4, or 4, 1, and 0, or 1, 0, and 4. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter here. Okay. Just a note there that also your ordered pair is known as what? Coordinates. Okay, that's you should not forget. Okay. See any confusion at this point? No. Right, so that basically brings us to the end of the examples for exercise 7.1. So your homework is exercise 7.1. Okay. 7.1. People enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning, class.